Welcome to another weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. We are the premier podcast focused on the hobby of collecting autographs and photo ops from celebrities. We talk about autograph conventions, on-the-street encounters, and everything else about the hobby. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And let's just jump right into what happened 2 hours ago.
Well, we almost started episode 101, much like episode 100, which would have been with a phone call correspondence. But this time it would have been from me.
What happened?
Well, musical icon Billy Joel was appearing 10 minutes from my house. It was an unannounced sneak, if you will. His longtime agent was inducted into a Music Hall of Fame. And I saw that announcement hit my feed months ago. But at that point, Billy's health was a little more questionable than it even is now. He hadn't been seen. He canceled a lot of appearances. So I thought to myself, I wonder if he'll show up there. And honestly didn't give it much thought beyond that. And now that he's been a little more visible, it popped up on my feed again. And I gave it a little bit more thought. And it turned out marked out user and friend Vinny was attending. He bought, because he's a Billy Joel nut, he bought the ticket like when I first saw it. So he was in. I then tried to buy a ticket last minute, but they were sold out. And in the 11th hour, once Vinny told me he was actually there, I made the 10-minute drive to try my hand.
And?
I failed miserably. I sat in the parking lot for like an hour and a half in the rain. I waited for Vinny to text me that he was leaving. I made my way towards the side door where they were using, which I've never seen anyone use the side door over there. I guess it's reserved for only the true musical elite. And his guards were blocking they weren't. It was basically me and like some 65-year-old woman from the crowd that went to the side. I guess she's a little more adept at combo hunting than some of the people in attendance. And honestly, she was getting ready to give up, but I tried to make her stay. I'm like, I think you're my best chance at success. And she's like, why? And I didn't want to get in that being a senior citizen female would be more sympathetic as we're standing out in the rain. But it didn't matter. Old woman, me, no different. We were rejected by the security. And I even tried to negotiate a roll down. I'm like, it's raining. I don't mind standing in the rain. Can Billy roll down? The guy's like, nope, not happening. And he zoomed past us, and that was that.
Now, on some level, what was the cost of that ticket?
I think all in around $105.
Wait, so what was $36 then?
That was the symposium.
Would that have gotten you? Would that have got you in any closer?
No.
So the $105 was the number you had to spend.
Yes, and what Vinny said to me, he was actually glad I didn't buy it because it was apparently very, very, very tough upstairs. He got it done, which we'll get to his report in a few moments. Apparently one woman that was seated in the front row near him got it done, but it was like very quick, and the guard was like, I'll take it before we get in trouble type of thing. And he was basically whisked around that place like the president, and most people didn't get it. Would I have gotten it up there? I don't know. I would like to think I would have because I succeed more often than I don't. And being in that space, it was definitely a better chance than I had standing in the rain. But it wasn't a slam dunk up there.
Do you regret not spending the $105?
Yeah, I do for sure. But I think it was around like Christmas time or New Year's. At that point, again, he had canceled all his stuff. I was always of the belief, I like that Hall of Fame because it's in my town. But I really wasn't, if we induct a Billy Joel's agent into the marked out Hall of Fame, is Billy going to fly in for it? I kind of put it on that level. Like, who really gives a crap about it? But I guess it has a little more weight, at least in Billy Joel's eyes, than it doesn't have, since he had that whole exhibit there. I should have instantly purchased it. Penny wise, pound foolish. Also, I figured, who wants to spend 2.5 hours of your night sitting through this event of an agent? But I mean, I spent 2 hours of my night sitting in a car in the rain and got nothing. So I would have been better off buying the ticket. Definitely a regret, but that's the game. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where, in a weird way, we haven't really talked about too much in this hobby, the gambling aspect of it, right? So on one level, if you gambled and didn't spend the $105 and you got it, then that's an extra high, right?
Yeah,
And if you had spent the $105 and didn't get it, and worse, watched Vinny get it, you would have been crestfallen.
for sure. I would have been suicidal.
And so now you're in that weird kind of gray zone where you didn't spend anything. You only lost time and whatever minimal dignity you expended, and that's it.
I mean, I definitely blew a decent amount of dignity, but I don't even know if I had that much to begin with. So,
Well, that was a joke, right?
yeah, I'm saying I'm confirming. I definitely had a little bit of shame, but I mean, it's whatever. I kind of live with that on a daily basis, so that was fun. I feel better that I tried because I would have always thought that that there was a play on the side in the rain. I would have thought about that for 10 years that there was a chance. So I'm glad I saw it through to the end. I feel a little better that I didn't get a ticket with Vinny saying that it was pretty damn tough up there. So that makes me feel if everyone got it, I would have felt like the biggest moron alive.
Is Vinny? I've never seen Vinny in action on the street. Is he as much of a bull in a china shop as you are?
I'm actually afraid I would have ended up screwing him if I was up there because I would have liked to let him take the lead because it's like his holy grail. But at the end of the day, there's no room for being polite in combo hunting, and I think the Tony Soprano and Davey thing would have reared its ugly head. Where if I would have seen an opening, I would have not even thought about order. I just would have gone for it.
Yeah, like Daniel Craig.
Yeah. I think it would. I'm actually happy for Vinny that I made the mistake of not buying it because it meant more to him than it would have for me, and I wouldn't have wanted to screw him. I'm not saying I would have intentionally, but it's possible.
Things just happen in the moment.
Yeah, they do. You got that little bit of a window, and that's what you do. But I mean, I guess we might as well roll Vinny's in. Vinny's report was awesome. Check it out. His picture is perfect. I've known how long he's wanted this, honestly, since I've met him. And in a world where we all Pokemon and chase people for God knows why, to see someone get a name that truly means everything to them. I think that all the sickness and just craziness of this hobby, that's what it really boils down to, I think, at its core. So Vinny winning is in a way we all kind of win because we've all been there or we all have a name that we'd like to get and we could live vicariously.
Did you like my joke before about Billy Joel or no?
That he looked like Bobby Heenan?
I said he was Heenan suited. Yeah.
Yeah, Heenan suited. I mean, he looked all right considering. His hearing aids were in. He had a cane. I mean, not quite him zooming around on that little Vespa he used to go around, which that's what I really should be regretful for. You could have caught that guy out east on any day of the week in the summer. He was zooming around, and I never did. And that was the opportunity. No security, just being a Long Islander. That's when you get him, not in the pouring rain.
Do you realize a couple of years ago, not that I want to belabor this, a couple of years ago, not that long ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago, you could have over the summer just driven out to the Hamptons and just collected, right?
Yeah.
And that, when you think of how many people were out and about who are just too old or not doing it anymore, or post-COVID things changed. There were just so many incredible ample opportunities to get pretty much anybody who's anybody would go out there for parties and events and restaurants, and it was easy. And those days are over. Just to be clear, those days are over. You're not walking around the Hamptons getting people on the street very easily anymore. Times have changed.
Yeah, times have changed, absolutely.
But not all was. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying like anything, you got a heads and a tails, and on one end of the coin you fail, and on the other end you succeed, and that's sort of the little microcosm of the hobby. Which sets up for our next segment.
So, you also went to you had some success this week.
I did. I had another solo day in NYC, and it was one of those times where, as everyone knows, I am a lunatic about preserving spots. So I'm not going to really say anything in particular, But it was one of those days last weekend where the times, the start times, the end times, they lined up perfectly, where some days and some weeks you could do like, 2 things, maybe 3 in a single day. That's it. This day I was able to do like 5. So it was a perfect day to go in. I honestly wasn't planning on it until I woke up. And then I'm like, all right. I asked my wife if she had anything planned. She didn't. She wasn't feeling church this week because she had a long work week. And off to the train I went. I started out better late than never. I started my pit print, and I got Sapita again. And I also got Hugh Jackman again. I got Hugh Jackman on an 11x14. He gave a short sig that honestly I thought was a lot shorter than it actually is, because his current full sig is shorter than it used to be. But still, it was quite short. But I'm happy with it.
The price was right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat free. A little bit of time. I spent time tonight on Billy Joel and got nothing. I'd much rather spend the time and get a short sig. So that was nice. From there, I moved back uptown and I went for Luke Evans from largely the live action Beauty and the Beast. I had him. Actually, I was, believe it or not.
Oof.
I enjoyed it. It was solid. I like a lot of the live action Disney movies. They're not as good as the animated ones, obviously, but it's a decent twist on the classic tale. But I went for him. I had a couple prints. He was in a rush, which has been my common thing of late. These people come genuinely late. I got a selfie, couldn't get the graphs, but he's going to be around for months to come. So I'll keep the prints on me, and I will, I'll have them for next time. Then I moved up to the next spot where I wanted Eben Morse Bachrach from The Bear, from Fantastic Four, which is honestly all I know him from. But he rejected me before. So it was a bit of again, much like Alden Ehrenreich, who I failed on. When you fail on someone, you kind of want to remedy it.
So how'd you remedy it?
Well, I got him. He came out. He was very, very quick and weird, which is what his MO is. But I got him. And while on the rail, I'm looking around, and what do I see? I believe I see Catherine, who plays Dana, on the pit. She was
the best part was you sending me pictures. Like, is that her? Is that her?
Yes. And the funniest part is you were at work, so you were not able to respond when I needed you to, which was instantly. So I texted it to my wife, and I'm like, is this Dana from the pit? And she said, I think it is. So then I looked up her name, because who the hell knew what her real name was? I didn't. So I looked up her real name. And at spots like this, typically you don't want to really draw attention to the audience. Like, the audience is there to be, audience. They're not really there to work. So it's sort of a little bit of you try not to usually. Whenever I've seen people like this in the past, you kind of like to approach them a little more discreetly. But I was crammed in a guardrail with like 8 rows of people behind me. I couldn't leave, and I couldn't wait for her to go somewhere else. So I shouted her name very discreetly. And she looked up from her phone thinking it was the staff at the venue, like calling her to like go backstage, which is what she was waiting for. But to her chagrin, it wasn't staff, it was me. And I'm like beckoning her to the guardrail. And I'm yelling that I'm a big fan of the pit, which, I mean, I'm sure that just, I'm sure she
loves that, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was struggling with her decision to be on the hit HBO show, and hearing I liked it and approve of her decision, I'm sure just made her career. So she came over to take the selfie, but you could sort of feel like her energy, that, she really didn't want like everyone noticing her. So at this point, to make it even more awkward, I had my pit print on my back in my backpack. So I figured my plan was she's going to go backstage. I will get this bag off my back in this tight, cramped rail, which is never the easiest. And then I will sort of break the ice a second time and get her to sign it. So sadly, the person she was waiting for came to her. She never went backstage. And when she was done talking to the person, she kind of just ran off. So I would have had to fight my way out of the rail with this print and chase her down a crowded street or wait for Eben. And I decided I'd wait for Eben. So I get Eben, as I said earlier, And I then at this point I fight my way through the crowd of the rail. And as I'm getting out of the rail, a listener of the show recognizes me. So he comes up to me. He saw me like harassing Catherine to get her to come over to the rail. So of course I'm trying to be nice. I love seeing listeners of the show, but I'm also trying to chase this woman down the street. So I, of course, as anyone would do, I asked the listener of the show if he saw her, like if he saw which way she went. And, obviously he didn't, because, why would he? And I sort of just dawdled around on the street waiting, because I had time until my next spot, and I figured maybe I'd see her. I didn't see her, but what I did see was the person she was talking to. He kind of summoned, pointed in a general direction. Didn't know what that meant for sure. But I not so creepily followed him to where he was going to see where he was headed. And he walked into a restaurant. So I was fairly sure she was in the restaurant waiting for him. That seems like what she was probably doing, but I would have had to abandon my next plan, which I wanted to do. And I also wasn't thrilled at the notion of waiting outside this restaurant for the woman I randomly saw holding a cast print of The Pit, signed by two people already. I couldn't.
It would have been a little bit strange and suspicious.
Yeah, for sure. Then I was debating. I'm like, do I play it off like I was eating in there with my wife, who's taking a massive dump, and she's still inside the restaurant, and I just happen to have this with me, or do I just own it that I was stalking her cast on at various spots, and I just happened to see her by chance? I didn't know how to handle it. So anyway, I went to the other spot because it was a sure thing. And I'm like, I honestly, even if I see this woman, she could be F off. This is weird, because it would have been. So I go to the other spot. The listener of the show comes back, and he's there with me as well. Granted, he asked me what I was going to be doing after that, and I didn't even answer him. I just sort of ran down the street like a werewolf. Like you ever see in the Wolfman when Lon Chaney was he saw the moon coming and just ran away from whoever he was talking to. That's what I did. Yeah, and it's pretty standard. Anyway, so this spot was for Don Cheadle and Io. I can't pronounce her last name, from The Bear. And honestly, she seems pretty on the rise in general. I was mainly there for Don Cheadle. So as I'm waiting for Don Cheadle, I'm pretty sure I saw the guy from 12 Years a Slave, who I'm looking up right now because I forgot again how to say his name. 12 Years a Slave. What the hell was his name? Going backstage.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, Cheweedle, whatever his name is. I think it was, and that was also my hesitancy, because I couldn't yell
Cheweedle, yeah, I think you bless you.
I couldn't. You also can't yell, "Aren't you the slave from 12 Years a Slave?"
Can't do that. I'm very glad you didn't.
That sounds a little bit. And luckily, it wasn't as bad as the woman next to me, who I looked over at her phone, and she's Googling black actors and just looking at this giant collage of black actors to see which black actor. Is that Denzel? Is it is it Viola Davis? It was wild. So I'm fighting with the show listener. I'm like, I think it's him. He's like, I don't think it was. And then you've seen people randomly, right, Sean?
So that time, so that there was that time we were at the hotel for Entourage, and we ran into Joe Satriani, the guitar player.
Yeah.
We got him. We ran into The Rock randomly. Yeah. That was crazy. That was fun. Yeah. You may not have felt this, but when you see someone randomly, it's like a shot of heroin. Yeah. It's a high.
And you start hallucinating, and you think you want to see everybody. Then you're going to see John Travolta in the bodega. You're going to see Meryl Streep in a cab. Your mind plays tricks on you. So I'm like, maybe it wasn't him. But at this point, it might be him. It's Don Cheadle. It's Io. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go stalk this restaurant. She may have left by now. She may have never been in there. So I wait this out. Don Cheadle comes out, and he actually does it, surprisingly. He doesn't always.
He worked the rail?
He worked the rail top to bottom. And he was pretty nice about it. He smiled. He was nice. So I got Don Cheadle.
He was a little bit far for the pick, to be honest.
Yeah, what are you going to do? It is what it is. And I'm pretty sure it was Cheweedle, if that's how you say his name, because everyone else that went back there who was nobody came back out. whoever that guy was, did not come back out. So for him to go out a different door tells me it was someone. A random, like, cousin of someone is not going to sneak out. So I'm pretty sure it was him, but I had no play because there's like 6 doors. So what could you do? And then Io never came out. So the listener waited with me a little bit. They announced they were done. Of course, I took, when they say they're done, I wait an extra hour because I was convinced that Chiweedle was inside or Io. And it turned out Io was inside. Chiweedle, I guess, wasn't, unless he was like taking a nap inside alone, which I don't think he was.
How do you know Io was inside?
She came out. She came out. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a great shot. It was sort of in the Cheadle way that she was far back. But here's the thing: at this spot, she wears a COVID mask and a hat. That's all you get. I think beginning of her time here, she was maskless, but lately she hasn't been. So you can get a close shot with her in the hat or the mask, or you can get the shot I got with her, which is no hat, no mask, but she's like 8 feet behind me, which is not ideal. But she's posing, but she's running, and she's like, I'm late, but she's not late. She just doesn't want to get near me without the mask, which I can understand. If you wear the damn mask, you're not going to blow it for some loser waiting outside, an hour after he should have left. So not great, but I got it. And at that point, I wasn't going back to the restaurant for Catherine because it was like 2 hours later. She would have been having the meal of her lifetime. So I left. As I'm walking down the street, this I'm sure of, I walked past Dhillon Baker, who I have already, and I didn't bother. He had headphones in. He was walking down the street. I don't know why, but he was there.
I love Dhillon Baker, by the way.
Yeah, he's nice.
Great actor. I've never met him, but great actor.
That was my day. That was probably the best NYC day I've had, which, I mean, it's not saying much as I didn't do it for 5 years, but it was a vintage day, probably in my top 10 as far as star power. A lot of big names. I got a lot of things off my list. So you heard of my failures from tonight. There was my successes from Sunday. And that is proof I'm a madman, because how many hours of my life did I spend chasing after people this week?
I mean, I got to say that that pit print looks fantastic. It would have been better if you got it more complete than it is. But
yeah, listen, I probably could have been more awkward about it. When she was taking the selfie, I could have been like, wait, I have a print in my backpack. I need you to stand here and watch me pull it out.
You 100% should have done that. You know that, right?
Yeah. But I felt a little bit of shame. I felt a little bad because, I mean, then the other people can start asking her for stuff, and then she's not working. She's there to see a show. You try to be a little discreet for, and then I figure, what if I'm doing all this and then Eben comes out, he skips over me, and so that's the thing. You have a million different ways you can go. It's not like a fork in the road. It's like a freaking octopus in the road. That's the hobby. And, it's not always, in hindsight, it's simple. In the moment, there's a lot of ways you could take it and a lot of things to consider.
There you go. So there was some happenings on the board this week. The big news that Chicago Fan Expo was dropping hints of a major guest being announced next week. So naturally, this set off rounds and rounds of speculation. And what makes it really interesting, and I'm going to just speak very directly on this, is that we basically got back channel info almost immediately about who it is. And I got to say, the hints that one of two things is happening. Either the info we got is completely wrong, or Fan Expo is doing a bizarre job dropping hints for this guest.
To me, the hints are screaming Harrison Ford.
I thought the hints were screaming either Eddie Murphy or Mike Myers.
Well, the last one changes it a little bit because it said, I'm not sure if you saw the last one, but they posted how he has done nothing, how people go to Comic-Cons every year cosplaying as him. And I mean, Han Solo is a big cosplay character. I've never, do people cosplay as Austin Powers? I guess.
I've seen it, yeah.
Do they cosplay as Axel Foley? I don't know. I don't think they really do. Maybe. I mean, it would kind of eliminate some of the people from being able to do that,
It's no Snake Plissken they cosplay as.
Yes, I'm saying I guess it could be Kurt Russell, but I mean the cosplaying I think kind of eliminates Eddie Murphy.
Cosplay? No. It could be. No, it's true. It does. I don't. I think Mike Myers, that you have Shrek and you have Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, yeah. Mike Myers is a possibility,
and they kept talking about how recognizable the voice is. Like, Kurt Russell's voice is not particularly noteworthy.
Well, some people were claiming that, like, oh, you haven't seen this movie, but I know what you're saying. It's not like I've never seen someone doing a Kurt Russell impression.
No,
Sure.
it's not iconic like Mike Myers,
No.
Eddie Murphy. Those are iconic voices. You can close my eyes and recognize those guys.
Yeah. So I think, as honestly, if I didn't have this information and I didn't know or think it was Kurt Russell, I think I'd be let down by it. To me, people would probably disagree. If I didn't have Kurt Russell, maybe I wouldn't feel that way. I don't think these clues are great for him. And I mean, would you go to Chicago to get a Kurt Russell graph?
No, absolutely not. And I actually need Kurt Russell. I have a Thing poster, and most importantly, I have a my Interstate 60 poster, which he's a minor character on there.
Yeah. I've been on record, and I will never talk big talk again about traveling via plane for anything solo. I'm a wimp, and I more often than not I won't do it. But if this was like a Harrison Ford and you were booking your flight and we could split a room and it would be a little less of a solo venture, I would do it. Anyone you would get on a plane for to go to Chicago, I would follow suit. Any of the names that we've discussed and have seen discussed, because you and I have a lot of similar needs as far as the names that we'd go for. But I mean, Kurt Russell's an easy pass for me.
No, we have the op. We have a perfect op. I mean, we do have a signed bottle of wine, whatever that's worth.
Not a hell of a lot.
No, look, I need him on 2 items, but I'm not inclined to fly. I mean, I'll mail him in. Or or I know someone who decides they're going to go to Chicago, I'll give them for consignment. I'm not interested in flying for Kurt Russell. It's not going to happen. I mean, theoretically, we could drive to Chicago. I mean, we drove to, actually it's further, but I'm not interested. Now here's the question: what about let's say it is Eddie Murphy? Do you get on a plane for Eddie Murphy? You would say no unless I went for anything.
I mean, intellectually, I would say yes, but I also know that for me to actually pull the trigger, much like Kramer, if you weren't going or someone wasn't going, I probably wouldn't do it. Just completely solo, venture out, solo Uber, solo hotel, everything on I probably wouldn't do it, but I'd want to.
So what about Tom Hanks? Because you have the op, you won't do it?
Again, if you were going, maybe. I'd be less likely because I have the op. Harrison Ford, given his age, would probably be a guy that if I could fly in and fly out the same day, I think I would force myself to go.
The problem is at a show like that, it's almost impossible to fly in and out the same day.
You would need like a morning op.
Right. Like I flew in and out the same day for Kawada. Where was that? Chicago? Yeah. But that was it was WrestleCon. I walked in the door, got my stuff, and left. There was no line or anything. I was in and out of WrestleCon in an hour and a half, maybe less.
You spent more of your time shopping, I remember.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I was done with Kawada very quickly. I walked in, got the autographs immediately. I had to wait like 15 minutes for the pro photo op when they got everything set up, and that was that. It was very fast, and which is nuts. I was in and out so quickly. I was just waiting to get out. So all in all, it was the easiest. But at a giant ass con like Fan Expo, I just don't think it's feasible. There's too much nonsense. And also, it didn't hurt that that WrestleCon was 2 minutes from the airport. There was nothing about that trip that made it difficult.
Yeah.
So I mean, granted, I have no idea where the hotel is at Fan Expo Chicago. I haven't done any because I mean, look, the people who know such things are adamant that it's Kurt Russell. Everyone with even a modicum of inside knowledge is saying it's Kurt Russell. They know it. He's booked. They already know it. So I don't know. I just don't you. Am I crazy? Don't you find it really odd that these are the clues they're giving? If it's just not, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's him.
I mean, I guess I'm overlooking that people cosplay as him, like you pointed out that they do. I guess if those are like your movies, I guess his voice. I guess everyone's voice is iconic if you think about it. I mean. Danny DeVito's voice, I can picture it now if I think about it. What is iconic? Is it a top 5 voice of all time, or is it it's just all just over exaggeration for effect? So I guess what's with the typical disappointment salesmanship. I mean, he's been requested forever. He's hot and cold on the street, mostly cold of late. I mean, I think he's a great. I think the majority are not going to be disappointed. So, I mean, I guess the clues aren't like overselling.
I think he's a great name. I think they're the wrong clues for him. That's it. You know?
Yeah, I don't disagree. But at the same time, I'm not the biggest. Like, I haven't seen all of his stuff. Like, that's why I wasn't really sure how the clues work. Like, I haven't seen like every movie he's done. So I thought maybe if you were like a super fan, these clues meant something differently to you than they did to me.
What about a Mike Myers? Does that interest you?
If you were going, I would go. I'm a Shrek fan. I'm not really an Austin Powers fan. I've tried
I like Austin Powers either, but Mike, I mean, I do like Wayne's World, which is, you know, kind of...
Shrek is iconic. And again, if you were going, the flight ain't going to be that much. You split the hotel. I knocked Chicago off my list. I've never been there. I would do it. But I wouldn't really feel much of a urge if you were like, hell no. I wouldn't be looking it up solo like I would for Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Ford. I mean, it's hard because my one real Star Wars item, I got the graph.
It's done.
Yeah,
we have the combo.
Badass graph.
The force, the combo imbalance is great. I mean, we didn't even try, honestly, which is still a regret. He would have rejected us, but like we didn't even try.
We were
just
awkward.
So happy we got the graphs. It was awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do regret not trying, but I felt horrible. The whole thing was bizarre.
I mean, today I would have gotten him on video. He would have been cursing me out when he saw I was doing it, but I would have gotten him looking in before he cursed me out. So it's sad that I would have done better with it now than I did then.
I mean, you realize at the time we got Ford so long ago. I believe we were still walking around with digital cameras, not the phone camera.
I the way you may have originated paint, I've gotten video ops on digital cameras.
I've watched you in action. It's a freak show.
You don't know the agony.
Could you still do that? You think it's like muscle memory, like riding a bike?
It's muscle memory. I could still do it, but it's like it's agony. Like you're trying to zoom in on the viewfinder of your camera to watch this video to see if you have a valid frame. Like on a phone now, it's so easy. You zoom in, it's 4K. Like it's easy. But you'd have to wait until you got home to import the video and then zoom in on your computer. It was like the equivalent of like a disposable camera of like, I wonder if they blinked. Like it was agonizing.
Yeah, honestly, I even with the iPhone, even with live photo, I still almost didn't get the Jack Black correctly because it was crazy blurry. That's how that happened, honestly. Just my luck. And I'm really not good at selfies is part of the problem.
Not really.
Anyway, no.
Yeah, tune in next week to see who the Chicago name is because by then we'll know.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty confident it's going to be Kurt Russell, and I'm out for that. So what else?
Another A-lister hitting the cons.
So speaking of A-listers hitting the cons, Indiana Comic Con had Nicolas Cage this weekend. As it turns out, our info about his autographs was slightly outdated on the last show when we said they were only prepaid autographs. So the way it worked was if you prepaid an 8x10, it was $2.25. If you wanted him to sign your stuff at the show, it was $400 and up. But he was selling character names and quotes and whatnot. They were extra. I didn't actually get the price sheet because I didn't care that much. But I saw a guy say he got 2 quotes, a character name, and the signature on a Funko was about $1,000. So if you want to break that down, however you're going to break it down. But anyway, I'm going to be honest, I was not too thrilled with a $400 graph. Did not look that great from Nicolas Cage. I know his street graph sucks, but his private signing graph was pretty good. And I thought for $400, this was not a good autograph.
I'm easier to please. I thought it looked fine. It wasn't as good as the private signing one, but that's the game on the autograph. You could see him give a private signing level graph for the person in front of you, and then for you after next in line, you don't get it. It could be anything. They don't like you. They don't like the item. They get tired. They whatever. You never know. You can sort of hope and assume what you're gonna get. But it's very rarely you like walk up to a table and see like a sample of what you're getting. You're always kind of taking. It's always like a hope and a prayer. that's a little easier to do on a $25 to $50 autograph than a $400 autograph. And that begs the question, when we're talking this kind of an investment, should there be more of like full disclosure of like what kind of a graph you're getting? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I also would have asked if I saw him doing bad ones in front of me. I would say, hey, wait a second, can we do a little bit better? It's a lot of money. It's my understanding though the lines were flying because they were trying to get ram as much through as possible.
Yeah, something tells me that wouldn't have been a successful ask, but I mean, I wouldn't have blamed you for doing it. It's tough. It's always tough. That's the autographs. Honestly, are a lot harder than photo ops. You go through the photo op, ready, next, and it's not a great experience. But I mean, you're gonna get them looking. Maybe they're not gonna be smiling, but I mean, you're gonna get them looking, and if you don't, they'll put you through a second time, and you'll get a redo. With an autograph, you spend $400, you put your item down. Whether they sign it like shit, whether the pen explodes, anything can happen. Unless you have a backup item in your pocket that you're going to pull out that's identical, you're screwed. You're gambling. You got to hope the combo gods are looking out for you. That's the life of an autograph collector.
To be totally honest, at this stage in the game, that's why I'm really only going to get autographs from people that I'm a big fan of or on projects that I have. I'm not like I would never. There was a time not that long ago where I would be like, oh my God, Nick Cage is, whatever. I got to get when I tell you I had no compulsion, no desire whatsoever. None. I have no interest. Thankfully. Thank God I have no interest in that. Because I would have been pissed. The FOMO would have been really strong, and now I'm glad that it's gone. So
if he's added to NYCC in like a month's time, you're not going to feel a twinge to do something.
I'll get the op. I'm not going to get the graph, I mean.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to feel like you're not going to want to have some done to the nines Funko or something.
No, I've actually never seen this. I've never seen a Nick Cage movie that I liked, really. To be fair, I mean, I saw Face Off when it first came out. I don't remember anything about it. That's like his best movie, but I don't really remember it. I mean, I
kind of like that movie he did with Cher. My mom made me watch that like years ago, and I
have no. I mean, what is that?
Moonstruck. That's
I've never seen it. No, that's anyone other than like a 50-year-old woman and up who's seen that. It's come on, that's not even the demographic. I've never seen it. I have no idea. What have I seen of his? I don't even know. I saw Wicker Man. It was horrible. Ghost Rider was horrible. What else was he even in?
The National Treasure movies.
Horrible. All of them. Horrible.
Con Air.
Con Air was good. But not like one of my favorites. It was like a solid movie for the time period. Trying to think who else. What else?
Well, I think the point is, I agree with you. I don't think I'd be popping for an autograph either. Not so much about the quality, just he's not, if De Niro was at a con giving out slop autographs and the price was like reasonable, to his usual standard, I would get it. Why didn't you just do the private signing? I don't, to me, even though I don't get much of a buzz from meeting these people in person, I can resist the private signing. I have enough in-person stuff to spend the money on. Even like the Shawn Michaels at High Spots thing, I still haven't pulled the trigger. I don't think I'm going to because I have other stuff to spend the money on.
Right, you said you're going to pass?
I think I am. I wasn't going to send the Hasbro. Yeah, I wasn't.
No, but you held the magazines and stuff. This is you. In fact, I believe a couple weeks ago you said you were going to drop like $450.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, I've had a couple things enter my calendar since then. So the money has been reallocated.
Crazy. How many more times is Sean going to come around? You're really taking a risk here.
Well, I still have 10 days to get it in, so I could get something out.
Yeah. This next one I didn't really see. Sean Penn blanked people, but Sean Penn always blanks people. That's nothing new.
Well, I mean, the real news was that he basically said that he skipped the Oscars because he can't take people asking him for selfies. I guess like even on the inside of these industry events, the industry events are basically just schmucks like us with slightly better access. And they still want the same crap we want. And he remarked how if a Holocaust survivor, which there aren't very many of those left anymore, and their paraplegic grandchild approached him and asked for a selfie, he would reject them. And, of course, then Class 316 drops in the comments with his selfie with Sean Penn. And he is neither, I guess he's slightly paraplegic, depending on the day. But for the most part, he definitely didn't survive the Holocaust. And, it shows that all this bluster and, things are still possible given the right circumstances. But Sean Penn is about as surly as they come. And the video came out. I'm not sure if it was current, new. I'm not sure if he's in town now or that was just something that the person dropped from the archive to sort of tie in with the news story. But it was a video of him racing into his New York hotel and he shoulder checked. I think if you watch that video back, Sean, the grapher he shoulder checks was at the Jack Black spot. That was one of the guys that was directly in front of us.
Oh, so he deserved to be shoulder checked then.
Yeah.
He was an absolute
I wasn't mad at Sean Penn for doing it. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's the kind of graphing that, I mean, at least tonight with Billy Joel, if it wasn't pouring rain and a side door, I would have had a shot. But I've never been that kind of a grapher where it's a 95% fail rate and I'm going to go waste hours waiting. I know you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I get that, but I'm comfortable doing that. I'm not going to go for certain failure. But they did, and they failed. And I guess you have to try, but better them than me.
Yeah, you have to have serious stones for that kind of those kind of pursuits, and I don't. There's something. I mean, no, yeah, there's something too demoralizing, but that's the only way to get the truly difficult names. Bottom line. Yeah. Where was the kangaroo thing? Fan Expo Philly, or where was it?
Fan Expo Philly, yes.
So he was complaining because I guess he had some kind of asthmatic incident in line for somebody. He missed something. I can't remember the post. David Morrissey from The Walking Dead. That's right. And I guess the issue was that both it was the staff of Epic Photo Ops, or Leap, whatever you want to call them, now that Leap owns Epic, was extremely unaccommodating of his medical needs. Now, the funny thing is, we have known now for 2+ years, since Leap bought Epic, their customer service has just plummeted. In quality. Leap is a terrible, terrible, evil, awful entity, right? We have spoken about their really unethical ticketing practices when they sell things, but they make you exchange them and you lose the balance of the money, all that stuff. Leap is an evil piece of shit company. And that's who you're dealing with now. I don't know. I think I do know why the companies are all using them, because Leap, not only do they do the photo ops, they also do all the ticketing for the events. So it's kind of like a big package deal that the companies get.
Yeah. It seemed like it definitely was a lot of insensitivity and miscommunication. He needed a nebulizer treatment, which I didn't even know those things were portable, but apparently they are. And he went to the bathroom to do that on their urging. They said go do what you have to do. Which I guess, I mean, what else could they tell him? Stay here and die. If someone's having an emergency, you gotta let them go. And when he returned, the photo was over and done with, and he's simultaneously wanting a refund and an apology. And I told him you should be focusing on the refund, because I mean, ultimately, who cares about the apology? Get your money. But I think eventually he'll get his money. I hope he will. He has this and other platforms to use if he needs it. And he should definitely get the refund, because I mean, they told him then to put in the ticket and you'll get it. And they're a lot worse than they used to be. But ultimately, when they finally say okay, you'll get it, I've never not gotten it. So I think he'll get it, but still, there's a crappy way of handling something on their part.
What happened there was something with me where I can't remember what it was. It was a few years ago when I thought I'd be able to exchange or cancel an op and I couldn't. It was entirely their fault. They double booked somebody or something. Shoot, I can't remember what it was. But I
remember the scenario, just not the detail.
They double booked something. And they wouldn't let me refund it. They would only let me exchange it because it was after the refund date.
Yeah, they suck.
They suck. They're awful. But they have a corner on the market. And then finally, I mean, I don't want to belabor this because we've talked about this issue a lot. Big Texas Comic Con officially bans meta glasses.
Yep. Yeah, at this point, At this point, it's just a matter of let's keep a ledger of which cons are banning them. There's nothing more to say, unless something changes. We've said it all. Let's just see how many cons follow and join this conga line of stupidity.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, like I said, when most of these con promoters are actually brain damaged, literally. When you get one who's halfway smart, they'll figure out a way to monetize this, and then the other ones will be falling all over themselves to copy it. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So right now it's one idiot after the next jumping on the same bandwagon. And again, I'm not talking out of turn. If you don't believe me, just talk to one of the promoters and watch them try and choke a sentence out of their face. They have no idea what they're doing. And so whatever. The truly big shows, the NYCCs, the altered reality shows, they don't care. They're not going to care. It's the small time wannabe shows, the small time agents, the same thing, who they're so panicked about losing a nickel that they don't really understand how to do anything. So
agreed.
So it's time to go into reports.
Yeah. In addition to getting Billy Joel, Vinny got Public Enemy, Chuck D, and Flava Flav in Tribeca. And both guys were nice. Chuck D was a little more accommodating. Flava Flav wouldn't sign a blank, but it wasn't like a blank photo paper that you could print over. It was like a cardboard type of sort of 8x10 size index card. For that, I mean, what the hell are you going to do with it? But he wouldn't sign blanks, but he still took a selfie. Great hit by Vinny.
Awesome stuff.
And
what else? He also got Public Enemy at Tribeca.
I just said that.
Oh, I thought you did the Billy Joel thing. My bad. No. I lost.
You really are sleep deprived.
Well, I am. It's so late. You spent hours fruitlessly chasing Billy Joel and pushing this recording time further and further back. Is what happened. I mean, you promised me 8 p.m.
8 p.m. my time, not your time. Actually, 8 p.m. my time. Yeah.
No, it was 9 p.m. your time, 8 p.m. my time. I'm an hour behind.
Yeah. Close enough.
No.
So it's not that late. Anyway, we already did Public Enemy. Oh. Next, C-Rat to warm up, to practice, to get his batting practice swings for the real main event podcast appearance he had this week. He appeared on the Cody Rhodes podcast. Alongside Finn, and in all seriousness, it was a great interview, great segment. Finn is truly mature beyond his years, at least compared to the kids I see on a daily basis. I mean, as a 9th grader sitting up there with Cody Rhodes on YouTube, answering these questions well. It was great to see. I watched the whole thing. I enjoyed it. And they also hit Clash in Italy. Sean and Finn are all over the globe, like Carmen Sandiego, and they made pasta with Ethan Page and Maxine Dupree. They saw the show. They did a lot of cool stuff, and they had a great time, as they always do.
Yep. Mike Megason did a whole bunch of stuff. He hit Niagara Falls Comic-Con. A lot of chiller-style guests were there. So Vicki Lawrence, Mindy Cohn, a bunch of those types. And he also, it looked like he was at a concert. It was hard to see, though, because he zoomed the picture in so tight. He also got Vicky Peterson from the Bengals, which was cool.
Yeah, Mike Megason's all over the place. I love to see it. And then keeping on with the reports, Josh Black hit the River City Wrestling Con. He got Scarlett and Killer Cross. And I really, really can't believe Killer Cross went from kind of being hot for a moment. And now he's doing the River City Wrestling Con. He's doing MLW again. He fizzled. He'll never get back. And, that was that.
What a precipitous fall from grace. It's actually alarming to watch. Shocking.
Thank God I cleared out my inventory on him.
I know. You were, the funny was, you were like, oh, he's going to get re-signed. I better pull this stuff and hold it. I'm like, sell. And you did. My instincts are pretty good with that stuff, you must admit.
Typically, more often than not.
To be fair, my advice is always the same.
Yeah, that is true. You would sell your grandmother's ashes if there was a buyer.
Sell now. Do not hold for tomorrow. Sell now. That's always my... If it's something that's inventory, sell it. That's what inventory is for. Not to behold it and pray for it to appreciate. It makes.
But also, everything is inventory. So there's your little
Right.
The
Well,
cat.
no. But for me, everything is inventory eventually. But if there's stuff that's active inventory, should be sold.
I agree. I'm warming up to it finally. All right, marked out hitmaker at this point. Tyler hit the Indiana Comic-Con. He got Nick Cage, Anne Margaret, Jodie Benson, Linda Larkin, and he's the one that got the Nick Cage autograph on the face-off. Actually, that was Dave. We talked about Dave already.
Yeah.
But Tyler got a great Nick Cage op. Nick looked kind of awkward in a lot of them. Tyler got one where he looked a little more human, a little more comfortable. It was a great shot. Tyler, as usual, has a great report, good read, great impressions and hits. Always a good time with Tyler. And then we had Chris Eastwood got our old buddy William H. Macy at Binny's Liquor Store. And he hit a whole bunch of merch. He did the Jurassic Park 3, which I don't think is anywhere on your favorite movie list, but it all looked great.
What else we got? I lost the spot on the list. Greg 2600. You do this. I don't know any of these people, so
neither do I. But Greg met the 86 Giants at the Woodbridge Brewing Company. We heard him last week on episode 100, driving back from this, discussing how much it sucked and that Woodbridge Brewing Company is just an awful, awful place that should be shut down. He didn't say all that, but I am now. It's a bad place. Don't go there. And check out the report. Listen to episode 100 to hear him talk about it himself. Keeping the train moving, Matt Bulk completes his Sopranos TV guide by mailing in for the Edie Falco signing. And that is a ballsy move with James Gandolfini on it, sending it in.
Absolutely. I admire that level of moxie because that shows someone who really cares about completing an item.
Yeah.
You know? I appreciate it.
It's also someone that has a lot of faith in the United States Postal Service.
At some point, you just have to let it happen. You have to. These things need to be completed. You complete them. You just live in fear. What is this?
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of living, I never knew Jack Proctor lives or apparently frequents Scotland. We had not one, but two. Jack Proctor and Dodd Morrison submitted reports from Scotland with Jeff Goldblum.
It's always funny because, you know, there are these characters now on Marked Out where you see them and you interact with them. And I don't really, maybe this is a problem that I have. I don't really pay attention to like details about these people's lives. I don't really know. You know, the people I know because I see them around. But if I don't see you frequently, or if a lot of time passes, I forget. You know, I'm not great with that stuff. And so I never really paid too much attention to where anyone's from. And then, unless there's a reason to. And so I just kind of did a double take. I'm like, Jack Proctor's in Scotland? What? I had no clue, no inkling that was the case. And
I would have guessed he was in like Nyack or something. I wouldn't have thought Scotland.
No idea. I know. I thought that was pretty funny. And then we've had to have two reports on the same day from Scotland for Marked Out. That's incredible. There's no other word for it. It's incredible.
Never happened before, that's for sure.
No. I love that. Love it. Josh, he hung out with boxer Peter McNeely. He ran errands with him. It was a whole day and got him to sign a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not really sure of the context. I'm not sure if he really said the context, but it was still neat to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he ended up going to Walgreens with a former boxer, but it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Big Chad doing his thing, going to Philly, getting Mr. T. Good to see.
I don't think there was a fan happier in that building than Chad. Chad lives every moment at these shows and loves it, and it's always fun to see his reports.
What else we got? I don't know what you wrote.
I wrote, it's fragmented. Phil got a bunch of DVDs signed at Fan Expo Philly and had a great time. He always has cool items, and he always has a nice story that goes along with it. So thank you, Phil. Crossfire, our old buddy from the forum days, he was also at Fan Expo Philly, and he got Mr. T on his, basically, I think it's now complete Hall of Fame program. And that's a badass piece. That really looks great. And keeping up with the Fan Expo Philly, the Captain Kangaroo, with his nebulizer in his bag, was at Fan Expo Philly, and he had a great experience with Mr. T. And honestly, as someone you don't hear a ton of people call fan-friendly too often, but he had a nice experience with Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is people have a sliding scale of what they consider to be nice experiences. I mean, he's just kind of a gruff guy. I thought he was nice when I met him, but he wasn't
I
that
never had a
talkative.
bad experience. Yeah,
No,
he's just
he's not
quiet.
talkative. He does things.
Yeah.
You ask him to sign a certain way, he does it. He's no. I mean, I think someone asked him for a quote, and he like angrily grunted. I think I heard that, but who knows? People are just also people tend to misinterpret things sometimes too.
Yeah.
What else? Crossfire.
No, I did Crossfire. You're really out of it. Out of it tonight. Brett Moust got Tara Reid and
Did
more
you do Kangaroos Jim Jeffries then?
Oh no, I skipped that one. Hold on, I'll double back. Hold on. All right, so Brett Mouse got Tara Reid and more at the Hall of Heroes Comic-Con. Tara Reid, honestly, I mean, she's looked half dead for years. She weighs about 30 pounds, but she's still alive. She keeps doing the shows. It's great to see. Hopefully she lives long enough for an American Pie reunion to be done properly. And doubling back, Kangaroo hit Jim Jeffries, the comedian. He was in his town. He had a great experience. Kangaroo's really getting around this week, which is awesome to see. Yep. And then bringing home the reports, Ari attends Lucky's show up in like the Westchester area. And he got many sports legends like Artis Gilmore and Doug Flutie. And those shows are always good. People say that those are some of the better sports shows in the area as far as how they're run. It is no Woodbridge Brewing Company, and a great time was had.
Wicked Ink Wednesday happened this week. We were both negligent. I feel like I have a better excuse than you. What was your excuse for not doing Wicked Ink Wednesday?
I'll tell you what my excuse was. I was going to post my pit print, but that was before I posted the report. And I didn't want to impact my impressions by exposing the print too soon. And then I didn't think of another one I wanted to post, and I procrastinated.
That's not how that works. Your impressions? That's absurd.
Yeah, you don't want to blow the suspense. You want to save it for the main event.
You think people? No one cares. That's really deranged. Are you being? Is this a bit? Or are you serious?
I'm serious, actually. I won't always post something if I'm going to make its own post. It's like redundant.
But it wasn't its own post. You had all the ops. It doesn't make any sense. What you're saying makes no sense.
No, I did post my print in a report.
But doesn't it go with Wednesday, the ops too?
Well, yeah, it went with the ops too. But still, if I'm posting it as part of the report, why would I post it as a Wicked Ink?
To post something else as a Wicked Ink. Who gives a? Who cares?
Well, that's what I said. I didn't post something else because I couldn't think of what I wanted to post, and I procrastinated. I'll do it later, and I never did.
I just forgot because I was, I'm so out of my normal routine. But anyway, Josh posted his Muhammad Ali book.
That was sick.
Always love to see authentic Muhammad Ali graphs. The Captain posted his Mr. T graph, which was like a TV ad, like a glossy TV ad, which was awesome. And Andrew posted an old Casey Stengel autograph, which is neat to see some classic baseball stuff.
Definitely.
Photo with Friday. Well, Wicked Ink was a little bit challenged this week. Photo with Friday was fantastic. Ira posted his group shot with the plain white tees.
Not many band shots on a sidewalk. That's
know.
Not easy.
I actually have. I have one. The time when I got. Oh God, what was that band? A Hot Rod Circuit to do it. That was bizarre, but they just. I was going to do them all individually, and the one guy's like, "Why don't we just all get together?" I'm like, sold. And then what else? Nikki had that great story. Why don't you tell the story with Nikki and Nikki's friend and Jessica Alba?
Yeah, he saw Jessica Alba on the subway, and he photobombed like a paparazzi shot or some sort of a candid shot of her.
I believe he didn't know he did it. She saw it.
Yeah, she saw him scrolling. She saw the friend. She saw the friend before she saw Jessica Alba.
Yeah,
and he was in the shot. And I mean, I don't know if it's valid, but it's close. It's pretty cool. It's better.
It is a weird. It's a question of validity, but it's also in some ways better than a photo op. It's such a weird, funny thing, you know. He's really like centered in the background of this photo.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And then Mike Housen, he posted a picture with Chicago's own Mike Ditka. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a Ditka shot in a minute, so that was neat too. All right, on to the con and industry news. Bret Michaels, he is now added to the list of people who are selling signed vinyls on Premier Collectibles. They have really just gobbled up the music market. It's kind of crazy. They are selling signed albums from pretty much anyone. So it's clearly like a snowball effect. They made one deal and just snowballed it. And so now they're working with a lot of people. Premiere for their own signings is legitimate. I would not work with Premiere. I would not buy from Premiere because of how they do the signed books business. I wouldn't personally give them money. And also they bake profits into they bake margins into their items in a way that is particularly bold, I think. I'm not sure how well some of these records sell. I don't know. They do this game where they have different colored versions and they charge more for different colors. It'll be like, oh, buy the gold signed one, limited to 50. That's $50 more. And it's like, I'm not interested in that game. It seemed that's like too carny for me. Like on one level, I kind of respect it. On another level, watching them kill the music side of this whole autographing business before it ever really gets off the ground is upsetting. That part of it hurts.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Bret Michaels is definitely going to be doing cons probably before the year is out because he's made for them, as you've said before. He's a perfect name.
He's made for
now.
Steel
He's
City.
doing, yeah.
He is a Steel City name, if there ever was one. Look, big news for New York Comic Con. The first time in years, they didn't sell out of the 4-day passes during pre-sale. What do you think about that?
Well, I know we have a question coming up that deals with this. I don't want to, much like posting the pit print on Wicked Ink Wednesday, I don't want to let too much air out of the balloon, but I don't know what it means. To me, they've had some of their best lineups as far as celebrities. I don't think it's that. I think if anything, it's economic. I think it's just maybe con burnout. Could be something to do with rising prices in general.
I think the con floor of the guests are better than ever. The con floor is way worse than ever. It's not close. Yeah. It's the con floor is so much worse than it used to be. It's hard to even articulate how little value there is to be found on the con floor. There used to be giveaways and exclusives and so many fun opportunities. And it's just even there were years where Marvel and DC don't show up. Don't have booths. It's taken over by so many of the anime things and the video game things, it's just not what it was. It's way worse. I can't even show. It's way worse, and I feel bad because I have friends at work who they know I'm a veteran of Comic-Con, and they'll say, "Oh, I want to bring my kids. What are your recommendations?" And I'm just like, listen. I don't even know where to start because how it used to be years ago where you could take kids to the floor of New York Comic Con, entertain them all day by just having them do stuff. Now you want to do one thing. The line is 2.5 hours because every freaking, that's the 88th situation. And that's a whole ordeal. Or it's so overcrowded and the activities are just worse. And so I don't know. I do think some of it is cost, and we'll get to have that breakdown of it later. But I think a big factor is the con is not as good as it was. And I know for people like us who are really only going for the autographing and the photo ops, it doesn't matter. Most people don't go for that. Most people go for the panels and the events and the things to do, and it's just worse.
Yeah, I bet if you could see a breakdown, I think the people like us, if anything, are probably increasing every year. Because I feel like that show has really come into its own the last couple. I think it's like you said. I think it's all the other people that we don't even really understand. You may better than I do because you sort of were that person a little bit. I've never gone to a show like this for non-combos. So I don't really understand the ebbs and the flows of what you want and versus what you get and how it's changed. To me, the show floor always kind of sucked. But, I mean, I can intellectually understand that you're getting less bang for your buck and you spend more time waiting in line for, diminishing returns.
Exactly. I just think it's a complete, we're going to see some changes. We're going to see some changes at NYCC. I think. Look, will it sell out eventually? Yes. This is a crack in the armor. It's the 4-day passes have sold out during pre-sale for the past couple of years. So unless they change their numerical allocations, which I don't think they did, then this is
it's
the
definitely a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. Probably
I do think that. Look, I mean, last
year,
remember they didn't sell out on Sunday right away. They're going to start declining. I do think so, because it's just the quality of the show is not what it was. It just isn't. Other con news: Undiscovered Realm Con adds Charlie Cox and Wilson Bethel. Charlie Cox is a very big name for a show of that size.
This show is trying to take a step. They got that They got that the guy from Stranger Things, that Brett Gelman or whatever his name is. That was like, he's popular, it seems.
I'm not sure how much of a draw he is, but we'll say I don't know.
Same. But they're trying. And, I won't be there, but I appreciate them trying to get bigger.
Monster Mania, Cherry Hill, they added a Freddy vs. Jason in costume up. So they do this thing where Jason's in costume, Freddy has the glove. There was that one con that Robert Englund did the makeup. That was overseas, right?
Correct.
I wish he would do one here, but I get it. He doesn't have to. He'll make his $250,000 for the weekend, regardless of what he does.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to do the aggravation when you're 80 years old. Steel City Con, they added a bunch of names that are interesting because these are much bigger headline caliber names. But what they do is they tell me we're making the right choice by going to Boston Fan Expo. So they added Jamie Campbell Bower, Arthur Darvill, Jenna Coleman. Do you agree with me on these kind of names?
Yeah, Jamie Campbell Bower at some point I will get, because I don't know who he is, but I will catch up on
Sweeney Todd.
Oh, that's actually one of the few Tim Burton movies. I don't think I've ever seen that one in full. One of the few.
So I mean, he cancels half the cons he's booked for. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't say all, but he cancels a lot. Arthur Darvill, I have no interest. So I'm glad things shook out the way they did. Honestly,
yeah, it's nothing I want. That's for sure. Speaking of nothing I want, RICC adds Andrew Lewis Caldwell, who I've never heard of, but he is in that Spider Noir project that is starring Nicolas Cage. So that just makes me hope and think that maybe once this show passed, that they weren't going to, that they wouldn't announce it when he's doing Indiana. Now with Indiana in the rear view, perhaps they drop Nick Cage, which would sort of fill up the ice a little bit.
And finally, NostalgiaCon New Jersey, that's that new show. They added Noah Schnapp. He will draw huge.
Needs probably strong, but I don't have Noah Schnapp. I loved Stranger Things back in the day, and then the obscene waits between seasons, I just fell behind. So I want Noah Schnapp, but it's a busy weekend. You and I have plans off the grid on Saturday, and then the Sunday, then I'd have to go to this, which is not really a fun thing to do after doing something the night before, but I'm thinking about it. I'd like to make it happen.
Absolutely. It would be nice. And that's, I mean, I suspect that show, I've heard that show wants to come out with a bang and be a big budget show. And I mean, I think it could happen.
I mean, I'm here for it. I could definitely use another way to spend a couple $1,000s every year.
For sure. What else? Oh, so if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store, Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out Autograph Collecting Community on Facebook. All links are in the show notes on Facebook and Substack. And if you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. Get your Marked Out Radio merch on our ProWrestlingTees.com shop. See the link below or check out the pinned post on Facebook. If you like what you're hearing or you absolutely hate it and you're hate listening right now, please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review on any of the above platforms. All right, let's get us to listener questions. Take it away.
All right. Yagin, I guess, or Yagin. Yagin wants to know, what's the verdict on collecting sexy photos that are autographed? What do you think? How many sexy photos do you have in your?
I mean, do we what is that? I mean, here's the problem. I think that really is about what you think sexy means, right? So it could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For example, there are people who collect Maxim magazines signed, right? Or those kinds of, magazines. There are people who won't sign them. There are also people who don't consider those particularly sexy either. So I think it really depends on what your definition is.
Yeah. I'll say for my personal tastes, I don't typically try to collect things that are sexy. I prefer like posters, like project style, like movie posters. I don't really want like the screenshot or the promo shot or something like that. So that's not really my bag. But if you're in the market for sexy photos, Maria's vagina is moving fast.
I don't think we have many left, right?
No, we have some of the more tasteful ones, the ones that you actually could see, like the vulva. The vulva shots are gone, but the more tasteful ones, we still got a couple. I wouldn't wait long; those are going. And if Maria's not your bag, we got Dr. Thirst, Jackson Drake.
Absolutely,
and those are moving pretty fast as well. So whether you like one or you like them both, I mean, we got you covered at Marked Out Collectibles.
So I don't really know how to answer that question. I there's no way on earth that's just something that I would be interested in. Look, there's a whole segment of the population that's all they collect.
Yeah,
So what I say is, whatever you like, you like. If you find something you like, you buy it. If you don't like it, you don't buy it. It's not for me. It's not for you either, pretty much, right?
No.
All right. Zach Chiara asked, what are your thoughts on people getting relatives of deceased celebrities to sign their items? Like when people have Sarah Karloff or Zilla Fatu sign 8x10s or items of their parents who've passed. Is that something you guys would do for your collection? This is an easy one for me, but I want to hear you first.
No. Pretty simply, no. There are exceptions to that. First one, I think I've told this story, but when I kind of was peer pressured and begrudgingly had Killer Kowalski's wife sign his entry of the encyclopedia after the person next to her at the table where she was representing him sort of put me on the spot. And then I, of course, made it worse and asked her for a photo op because I thought it was funny for Marked Out content, which it was.
It was a brutal story to listen to you tell.
It was. And it's going to be brutal to listen to me tell right now, as I just did. So that would be one exception. And then, like, for example, when I got the New World Order Funko signed by Kevin Nash, it was already signed by the Hulkster, I wanted Kev to add the "Hey Yo" in the margin where Scott should be, just to kind of fill out the space. Would I have brought Kev or Cody Hall? Would I have brought them a solo Hall item to sign? Absolutely not. I did the signing with Zilla. I didn't bring him any of the Umaga stuff. Although I did work Umaga into one of the backgrounds of one of the photos to sort of shamelessly, take advantage of Umaga's popularity. It didn't work. I don't think I sold those any better than anything else, but I tried. But no, the answer is no. That's not for me. If I didn't want to, I wouldn't want to make fun of any of our listeners, but I mean, if they weren't listening, I would make fun of them. I think it's weird and pointless.
The answer is no for me. It's a hard no. I have no interest. I wouldn't even derive any satisfaction from it whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. A Sarah Karloff or an Andre the Giant's daughter or whoever. I don't get it. Or why would you want to? I don't look. If that's your thing, I guess it's your thing. I just don't understand it. It doesn't ring any bells for me. It doesn't check any boxes. I just don't need it. It doesn't bring me joy or any kind of thrill whatsoever. And so no, the answer is no. Like a hard no.
Very fair. And our final questions from Nikki. What are your thoughts on the NYCC ticket prices, especially without knowing which guests are scheduled to be in attendance? Some folks have said they no longer go or only attend for a day.
What do you think?
I am not super aware of. Well, I don't even know what the prices are, and that's not a flex of me trying to sound like.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure with fees, they're over $100 a day.
Okay. Yeah, like
I'll
saying,
get the ticket. Let's go.
I want to be clear. That is not a flex. I'm not so wealthy. I don't even care. I'm just aggressively foolish with my money, and I don't care. And I just will. I'll spend what I have to spend.
Oh, no, so I'll tell you right now. You ready for it?
Yeah.
So Thursday solo ticket, including all fees and taxes, $93.09. Friday,
$60.
Friday and Sunday, $98.53. Saturday is $109.42. So $110 a person to go into NYCC. So a father-son would $220 to go in on Saturday. I mean, again, what are you getting for that? You're not getting anything. The days of being able to walk the show floor. And if you've never been, if you had gone to that show back in 2011 or whatever, you could walk in with first of all, you'd walk in and they give you a shopping bag. You could leave the show with shopping bags filled with free stuff. Am I wrong?
No, you definitely could.
Now, nothing. So what are you getting for $110 exactly?
You can try to enter a raffle. Yeah, you get into a raffle for the Funko booth and get some New York NYCC rat Funko that ain't worth very much. You can go to the NECA booth and buy NECAs at retail that sometimes are worth a little bit more, the exclusive, but not always. It's a lot of just bloated stuff that you're spending more money for. The admission's not getting you much, as it's just giving you a chance to spend more money on more crap.
Yeah, so it's just I mean, you look at this, so if you wanted to go, let's say you couldn't get the 4-day, which by the way you can. The 4-day is $321.17, so you basically save less than the cost of a day, or about the cost of a day, if you buy the 4-day. But if you can't buy the 4-day, the 4-day sells out. You're looking at $400 to go every day. Oddly enough, I didn't get the teacher invite yet. Did you?
No.
So it's later than it normally is. It's been, I believe, last year it happened already. Although I can actually double check that right now.
I know the date. I checked the date of when they said we would know by, and it's not there yet. So I'm not worried yet. But
let me see. So it was yes, it is. It was June 3rd, 2025. So we're past that date.
No, but that email, what did it say? That email that they sent.
Well, the application was due May 30th.
And they said you would know by a certain date.
Oh, I didn't look at that.
Yeah, they set a date that hasn't come yet.
June 14th. It'll be before June 14th.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this. I mean, Nostradamus here. I'm thinking it'll be this coming week, since if that's what it is.
In any case, it's I'll buy the teacher pass because it'll be $200 and something for the 4 days, and whatever, we'll make it work. But even still, I mean, it's very weird to buy this sight unseen. You don't know who's gonna get added. I mean, there was the year I was furious. I had the 4-day pass, and I still couldn't get the Ewan McGregor autograph that I wanted. It was sold out before I can get in. That enraged me.
Yeah, you were somewhere international at the time, and I tried for you as well, and I couldn't get it. I got the ops for us, but that was it.
Yeah. But the app didn't sell out, I don't think, did it? But yeah, it did actually, yeah, but whatever.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Nikki, I mean, if you're a combo hunter, you kind of have to bite the bullet. You can't wait for the names to come along and be announced, because by then everything's going to be gone.
Let's say NYCC is a complete dud this year.
Yeah.
Complete dud. Do you pre-buy next year anyway? Or do you hesitate?
I think you have to. Because when it's back to standard like it usually is, you're screwed and you're paying scalped prices. So you have to. I mean, what I would do, I would just sell my teacher pass I would try to sell it to someone I know that I would feel that I wouldn't get blown up, that I sold something that's non-transferable. And I'm sure I'd get my money back and it would be no harm, no foul.
Yeah. The problem is, I was and continue to be willing to spend premium money if they're going to guarantee me premium products. But we live in an era, I'm going to get a little bit, maybe political is not the right word, but we live in when in the era of shrinkflation and shitification. Have you heard of these terms?
Not quite, but I mean, I think I can kind of piece together where you're going, but take it
So
away.
shrinkflation is the idea that not only are prices going up, but prices are going up on two axes. They're literally just increasing, but also the size and the quality of the items that you buy are decreasing as well. So not only are you paying more, but you're actually getting less and worse, right? And that happens basically, and that's been happening over the past couple of years, pretty much in every industry in America. We're like falling apart at the seams. And shitification is a secondary concept. It's the idea that these companies will continue, once they have you on the hook for a product or service, they will continue degrading the quality of that thing as much as they possibly can get away with without driving people away. And so that's what so all of this is happening at the same time, where they know I have no problem paying whatever if it's something that I want. But if you're going to continue to degrade the experience and you're going to charge me more money for it, at some point I'm going to say, you know what? This does not bring me the joy that it brought me, and I'm not going to do it. And that's kind of where I am with Fanatics a little bit. I know we were arguing about this today, where you were trying to justify the Fanatics pricing. And like I'm looking at like a Randy Orton combo. After tax is in the neighborhood of $350. And I look at that and I go, that is just not going to do anything for me. It's way more than I would want to spend on someone like that. What do you say? The Liv Morgan, the Alexa Bliss combo was like $225 or $250, something like that. And it's like, are they crazy?
Well, I'm going to say to that, and we have a hype episode coming, which, considering it's just me doing it,
I'm not sure we need a hype episode. Honestly.
We might not, so I'm going to unleash on you now. You keep citing these combo prices. You weren't getting a Randy Orton combo. You were getting the photo op. So, I mean, whatever the combo cost, it doesn't matter. What you were going to do was the photo op. So if that's not worth your fandom, then that's fine. But the combo price shouldn't matter.
Well, of course it matters, because when I went to Fanatics for Punk and Hogan, I got combos. No?
Well, you were collecting Funkos and stuff at that point. Now you're out.
Yeah, but these, I think part of it is these people, I'm not interested. Okay, so forget the combo. Randy Orton photo op is $180 or whatever. What the $180? It's just not worth it. I would go there and be mad that I spent $180 plus the train plus the inflated tickets price to get in, which is now over $50. So now it's a $230 plus $250 plus whatever food, $270. Not interested. It would do nothing for me.
I mean, flip side, I paid that price to upgrade my Randy Orton photo from the over the table seated shot at SummerSlam like 8 years ago. But what I do and what you won't do is I'll split a lot of these photos with Ira, and like a guy like Randy Orton, he's not hanging on you. That's an easy fix, an easy crop. They don't even know the person's there. So I'm spending like $90. So like in my eyes, the way I partake in Fanatics Fest, that's fair. I'm paying $90 for an Orton photo. I can live with that.
Yeah, I know that when I'm watching it happen around me, I would get mad and I wouldn't enjoy it. I even said to you, I said, thank God I didn't spring for this, because I would have felt like I felt when I did the Emperor Palpatine at Comic-Con years ago. I would have gotten aggravated. Because I look at the pricing, I look at the structure, I look at Fanatics purposely manipulating the dates of who they have booked when, so you have to buy more than one ticket. I'm not interested. I'm just not. And New York Comic-Con still puts on a spectacle, but the minute I get the sense that I'm getting ripped off, and we're getting closer. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I am getting ripped off. I'm just being naive about it. The minute I feel like I'm being ripped off, I'm out. And then I'll take a couple years off, which I have in the past.
I think that's easier said than done. For the
fact I've done it.
With Fanatics, though, it's a lot easier for you because you're not really a wrestling guy. I mean, when? After Palpatine? Like, that was a completely different...
2-3 years ago. No, it was. But I mean... I last year and these past couple of years for NYCC have been good lineups for me. Not good, great lineups for me. I was incredibly excited about them. If I get a lineup and I'm like, this sucks, I'm gonna be mad.
I don't think that's going to happen. They booked 60 people. Like, it's not going to suck. Maybe it won't be to the level of the last couple, but they're fishing with dynamite. They're catching something. Like, they're going to have some people you want, and they're bigger caliber names. At a Fanatics Fest, you could say, I don't really need Braun Breaker. I'm not a sports collector. I don't need Tyrese Halliburton. It's like, it's easy for you to say that. Are you going to say, I feel like I'm getting ripped off at New York Comic Con and I'm not going to get, Gerard Butler, who's maybe there in 2 years? I don't know. That's bigger stuff to walk away from.
Well, okay. So if they ran, Ewan McGregor and Anakin Skywalker and that kind of stuff again, I'd be pissed. I wouldn't, if they did another Marvel thing, because I have all the Marvel people already. I'm
would you be pissed? You were just complaining you couldn't get the McGregor autograph. You could finish the story.
Okay, whatever. I use that as an example, but I mean, like, if they do a bunch of retreads, or if they do a reunion I don't like, or some anime BS that I don't care about, I'll be pissed.
Well, you got to understand, which you do. Their lineups are massive, so they're going to do all of those things. There's going to be Marvel. There's going to be anime.
So you know what I mean. I want I need a half dozen people who I actually need, right?
I think there will be the level of name they've been bringing in. If they keep to that level, there's always going to be 6 people out of 50 that you need.
Maybe. Well, I hope. But I mean, the tickets are going to cost more than they ever have. So we're already in for more than ever before.
That's true.
And it's going to continue to grow. So, like, at some point, rolling the dice is not going to be something I'm willing to do, is what I'm saying. And I don't know when that takes place. I don't know. But there will be a point at which it takes place.
On the flip side, though, if they keep delivering, are you going to be able to tell the dealer, I don't want your product anymore?
No. Okay. Look, the last 2 years have been exceptional for me. But I am not the kind of person who just keeps coming back. Thank you, sir. I'll have another. I am Oliver Twist or whatever. I am not interested in all that. So it has to be. They have to continue to deliver.
And I think they will. And if they don't, I hear you. If we start seeing weakness, beyond just ticket sales and sellouts.
I mean, look, if they think a big ad is Patricia Arquette, no, been there, done that, right?
I mean, if Kurt Russell's in Chicago. If
no,
you have
Kurt Russell, he'll be Fan Expo.
I'm not saying Kurt Russell, but I'm saying if Chicago Fan Expo has Kurt Russell and Rhode Island has Michael Douglas, you don't think NYCC has something? Like, if NYCC dropped Harrison Ford, would you honestly be surprised given the budgets and the arena they play in?
I don't know. I know nothing. Look, in this day and age, nothing surprises me, right? They can announce Tom Cruise. It wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me.
They are going to hit a steroid era home run, because if you have smaller shows with A-listers, NYCC ain't coming with Patricia Arquette and like David Harbour. They're going to have a Nick Cage, maybe Nick Cage himself. They're going to have something big. If Indiana and all these other shows have gotten something big, I don't think they're at the point yet where they're going to be like, well, tickets are sold. Let's give you a crappy lineup. They've been getting, to me, bigger and bigger. Some people, I think Greg 2600 has not liked it the last couple of years. So maybe many disagree with us. Maybe we're weird and our wants have been hit. And a lot of people's haven't. And maybe they aren't as good as they were for other people years past.
I mean,
I think they've been better and better and better.
Last year you had Sigourney Weaver, you had Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, those two alone.
Yeah.
Sigourney hadn't done something in a minute. Fishburne never had. And he's like a top want for a lot of people. Those were the two big ones last year. I forget who else they even had at this point. Those names are great, but the problem is the names who haven't been around, who are big, that list is dwindling. I
mean, it's dwindling, but there's always new ones. There's always new shows. There's always new movies and new projects. Maybe for your want list, maybe that's not going to mean as much for you. But there's going to be, there's bigger, can they all of a sudden get Jeremy Allen White from Shameless? And, then now he's a bit of a movie star. Could they bring him in? Like, there's a lot of names they could hit in theory that, maybe you're not thinking of right now that I think you'd pop for. And I think a lot of people would pop for. The world, the options are endless with the fact that you have Nick Cage doing Indiana. Like anything's possible in New York.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, at the end of the day, we'll see, right? We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of speculation, but I think Nikki, it's a great question because I think it's a lot. It's sticker shock when you see, it's over $100 to get into a con on a Saturday. It's like, wait a second, are you really giving me value? I mean, there's something like 30,000 people walking through the door on Saturday, right? Alone. So you're talking about a $3 million gate just for one day? That's crazy.
You build it, they will come. That's a gate, all right.
And that's an astonishing amount of money, and I don't know. It's hard because I think reflexively I just say, yeah, buy NYCC. That's the stage I'm at right now. But I do feel bad for the families who want to go. Because if you're two parents with two kids and you want to go on a Saturday, you're looking at almost $500, not considering food, transportation, or doing anything, right? You can't go to NYCC without spending a couple $100 on just whatever. So you're looking at $1,000 for a day. It's a stupid amount of money. It's a stupid amount of money.
That's the world we live in. You can't go to an NBA Finals game at Madison Square Garden for under $10,000.
But it's a finals game. I mean, at least you can go to. I mean, an NBA, whatever. It's always been a little bit pricey, but you can still go to a nosebleed seat in a baseball game for $20, right?
In theory, yeah.
This will take your kids out to a nice day. Last week.
But using that logic, you can take your kids to Undiscovered Realm. There you go.
I'm sure Undiscovered Realm's $40 to get in.
Yeah. I'm saying NYCC, that is a finals game as far as cons go.
I don't agree.
You want to go to the big con,
NYCC was priced in line with other cons for years. For years. Only
it kind of is, though. Fanatics Fest is like the same price as NYCC, which, I mean, that's not saying much.
No, all the other cons are way cheaper. The NYCC and all the other cons NYCC was a little bit more, but not a lot. And for years and years and years and years and years and years, that held. And now they're almost double. Well, I mean, what do we pay for Steel City? 50 a day? Rhode Island's 50, 60 a day, something?
Rhode Island was more than it should have been, I remember last year, because it's through Ticketmaster, and they whack you over the head with the fees and everything. Rhode Island, I'm trying to look right now. Rhode Island was actually, I remember, worse, because if you think NYCC's show floor sucks, Rhode Island's is even worse.
Oh, yeah. The Rhode Island, there's no pretense.
Yeah. Yeah, Rhode Island Saturday ticket. Hold on, how much is it right now? Let's see how much New York Comic Con should be taken to task for their pricing. $87.55 for an adult Saturday ticket to NYCC. That is with fees. Yeah, that's with fees. A little bit cheaper, but I mean NYCC is more of it. You can still get more bang for your buck at NYCC than RICC as far as swag and experience.
Yeah, I think that's high too. To be honest,
it is. It's all high. They're all going to rise. That's what it is. That's the dangerous thing. When NYCC still sells out, raising the prices from Undiscovered Realm to Rhode Island, they all have that same thought. Ooh, I could tack on another $10. People will probably still pay it, and we will, because we're addicts and we want, whether we're buying clothes or we're the people that cosplay. You can't go cosplaying at Aldi food shopping. It ain't gonna have the same effect. If you want to have this opportunity to walk around dressed like some anime character, got to pony up the cash. If you want to meet the actor that you need to, collect for OCD purposes, got to pay it. And that's what they're going to bank on. That the people, this culture where we make parlay bets that we lose more often than we win, and all this crap, and $8 Starbucks, people spend and spend and spend. And that's what they're banking on until, the brick wall hits, which hasn't happened yet.
But maybe this is the first inkling. They didn't sell out the 4-day tickets.
Could be.
And that's something that, I mean, they got to be scared a little bit. Those 4-day customers are their bread and butter. The 4-day customers are the people who wait in line early. They're the schmucks who buy that super fan nonsense, waste of insult, waste of money, right? Those are the idiots who buy that. So the fact that it didn't sell out, that tells me those numbers are probably down too. That super fan pre-sale.
I'm sure it all is, which is a problem. It is. But
Did you ever buy the Superfan pre-sale thing?
No.
Didn't you have access to it? Didn't someone you know bought it?
I think 1 year. I think actually maybe I did buy it 1 year, but not like directly. I think Greg and I and Lanza, I think we all kind of split it. That was back when you were genuinely like nervous about getting tickets. I think we split it.
Pretty sure those days are over.
Yeah.
For
I'm not
now,
splitting anything at this point besides photo ops.
There you go.
You don't got to sweat anything else.
So thank you for your question, Nikki. This seems a kind of a downer of a show. Like a lot of complaining today. I think it's because it's late, and I want to go home already. I want to go home. I'm done. I'm done with this trip. It's been too long. I recorded 2 shows from here, not even 1. I haven't been home in weeks. I'm done. So it's annoying not being home. And we're going away next weekend. It never ends. So what's coming up for us? So really, I'm not doing anything. Mostly, you are doing a lot of things. So explain what you're doing, and then we'll talk about Altoona.
I got Fabulous Jim Jones, Mano, and Dave East at their podcast taping / meet and greet at Terminal 5 on Thursday. And the thing with a lot of these rap events is I don't know when I'm going to get this itinerary that's going to tell me if it's pre-show or post-show. I've been to rap events before where you're legit, like the show ends and you have to go run someone down and find them and be like, all right, when are we doing this? Where are we lining up? That's anxiety I don't need. And I really hope it's pre-show, but even if it's post-show, just tell me by like Wednesday or Tuesday. So at least I can plan and know what I'm doing. So hopefully I get an email. If not, I'm going to be a ball of nerves trying to figure it out on the ground.
Yeah, I get it. What else we got? So we're going to Altoona. I'm going to be honest. I have a lot for Altoona. I have Peter Facinelli on a bunch of items for Can't Hardly Wait. I have a few items for Empire Records, like several items. I have an original dual-sided poster. I have an art print. I in a really stupid, irrational, compulsive decision, I ended up buying the 2 Funkos from the 100, which I as soon as I hit the button, you know what it was? It was hard to find mint ones on eBay, and I found mint ones, and I put in an offer at like 40% off asking. And I figured they weren't going to accept the offer, and they did. That's what happened. So, and I'm like, as soon as I saw the charge go through, like 2 hours later, I was like, God damn it. I shouldn't have done that. I do that sometimes. I'll throw stupid offers, then whatever. If they take it, they take it, and they took it.
And now hopefully the mailman takes it and you actually get it in time.
It's a whole other ball of wax. I don't even know.
No, or I'm sure they'll do another con in the next like 10 years, right? It's not like they're rare or anything.
All right, so make the rundown for what else you're doing.
All right. Josh Gates Live, as you call it, the biggest waste of money this side of the Mississippi, which it might be, but it's local and I like the show, so whatever. I am doing every day of Fanatics Fest. I'm spending about $35,000, but I'm splitting most of it, so it's only $17,000. It's much better. We are going to Boston Fan Expo and Terrificon. We're doing the loop. I will be a Keanu Reeves after that. You will be hopefully not making the mistake of a lifetime and going to Simple Plan. But we will see. And I will be at Chance the Rapper at the end of the summer in scenic, lovely Huntington, Long Island, which beats a train ride or driving into the city. So I'm excited about it. And that's basically it for this week until I should say at least until I add 5 other things I'm doing by next episode.
What else we got? And then of course after that Boston Fan Expo, Terrificon. So
I already did all this. I ran through the whole thing. You are really fried. This Kansas City, the Kansas City air is not agreeing with you.
I mean, I'm tired. Boston. Did you even go through the full Boston list or not even yet?
Not yet.
And I'm sure they're going to add more names anyway. So
yeah, I'm spending enough though.
Oh yeah, for sure. A funny thing is, I was actually, because I'm an idiot, I was looking at that. I was trying to find an authentic Hogan Mr. T Funko 2-pack signed by Hogan, which like shortly before and after he died were being blown out relatively cheap. You cannot find one that's real. They're all fake. Everything out there is fake. Everything. They're all fake. It's alarming. Control Center is pumping them out like I don't even know, have a metaphor at my disposal right now. They're out there. It's crazy. So I'm not even unless one of our loyal listeners wants to unload one at a reasonable price. I'm just not gonna get any T stuff signed. I already have my WrestleMania 1 poster that I signed. I sent in last time T came around for MegaCon, whatever, Dallas or whatever it was. And I don't really need something, but I was kicking around the idea of getting one, but I'm not like married to it by any stretch of the imagination. So
yeah, I gotta do my WrestleMania 1 poster, but the problem is it's like a cardstock paper, and it's like the one type of surface I've ever encountered where silver deco doesn't look amazing on it. Like it's kind of like the edges are kind of like feathery. It reacts weirdly to the tip and the paint. I think it really needs a silver Sharpie.
I was gonna say you probably need a silver Sharpie.
Yeah, so I guess I gotta find a silver Sharpie. But I mean, I wish Tito Santana didn't sign where he signed.
That is such a whatever. There's no sense relitigating this. Just getting someone like Tito on an item like that is just so I don't know, just bad decision making. Because you can't undo when he signs like crap in a bad spot, you know. So anyway, that's it for that. All right. So anyway, I gotta get the hell off this. If you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at markedoutcollectibles. To contact us for any reason, Jesus, my phone went off. To contact us for any reason, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out Autograph Collecting community on Facebook. Right now, no signings to announce. Hopefully, we have something coming up soon, but I'm not even sure because things keep changing in our normal avenues for getting signings right now are a little bit dry, but that could change tomorrow for all I know. So, and I would like to, once the summer gets going, possibly make some plans to do something a little bit different because, you know, we got to keep the train moving, right?
Oh yeah. And we got to make some new towns, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. Now you're speaking my language. So you good?
I'm good. I'm better than you. That's for sure.
I know. I dozed off multiple times during this recording, but just to give you an idea,
the listeners don't.
Yeah, it's midnight Central Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I got to be up at 5 a.m. So awesome. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Collectibles, Marked Out Radio, I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we will come to you next week from Altoona, Pennsylvania.